The increase in violent crime in Harrisburg, we've been asking the police how many cameras the city actually has access to and how many are run by the police or public safety.
And police were not able to give us a definitive answer as to how many cameras there are, but they said that the county does have cameras, and they said the majority of them aren't operational or they're limited in access to city police, which is why they're mostly relying on privately owned cameras.
All right, so what about those cameras in different neighboring cities, how they paying for it? Here's Maxine Rose.
I spoke with the executive director here at Lancaster Safety Coalition, a nonprofit that works hand in glove with Lancaster City Police. They tell me each one of their roughly 170 cameras in the city grid, as you can see here on this map, has been worth every penny.
We save county taxpayers over $2 million a year every year because of the cases that don't go to court.
The Lancaster Safety Coalition keeping a close eye on the city with operators on standby. Executive Director Tim Miller says in 2024, they were able to help city police over 3,000 times.
The cameras help with things like missing persons. And I can say, just from having worked there as long as I have, those days where you can find that missing child or someone who's having some mental challenges that day and get help to them is a very rewarding day in our operation.
Miller says each of the cameras cost roughly $4,000, but the infrastructure and the installation, he says, is where it gets expensive.
It's the fact that newer cameras like these require high-speed internet and for it to be in the places you need to go. And that's the real challenge. That's where it gets up into those millions of dollars.
Today, we asked the mayor's office about the city making a financial commitment to implementing a more robust camera system in the future. The city's communications director wrote back saying, quote, "The mayor is 100% in favor of funding cameras throughout the city. She and the police commissioner have been looking for funding options for some time. Funding is the problem, not support or commitment." City Council member and Public Safety Chair Lamont Jones also replied to our question, writing in part, quote, "There are resources we can use, but empowering those that are already doing the work is essential at this point." Harrisburg Police Lieutenant Kyle Gouch told us the city has received a handful of brand new cameras paid for by a grant. It's a new step forward, but will that be enough to sustain them?
Usually the costs are lower in a nonprofit model than when you get into sort of pension building officers, things like that. And so I think the costs are lower and the impacts are better, and it's easier to build up community trust.
Reporting from Lancaster, Maxine Rose, CBS 21 News.